So, because I was a bit of a donut in the last episode and forgot to go over the players we've actually sold in the AFC Wimbledon Return to Glory going into season number 3, this episode will cover one more new transfer in and all the transfers out before we play our game against Walsall coming up next. What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of the AFC Wimbledon Return to Glory, where we are now going into our second game of the season against Walsall, having managed to win our first game of the season in season number 3 in League 1 after unfortunately getting relegated from the Championship. But before we do that, we've still got a few transfers to go over, especially the transfers out, because I didn't even mention them last episode. Okay, there's only one transfer in, so we'll go over that first, and it's Matthew Kennedy coming in to join AFC Wimbledon. We needed a right or left midfielder. This guy fit the bill, so we brought him in to play in our new 4-4-2 formation, which is very similar to the one we're using in the West Ham world, but very different at the same time, because the quality of players I have is very, very different. Matthew Kennedy comes in. We needed a player to play on the right or left. So in he comes, Scottish, no caps, but he has got an under 21 cap. And importantly, he came in on a free transfer, which is always affordable. We then have the transfers out, and this guy, Carl Lever, went for 1.2 million. Now, I could have tried to hold on to him, but when someone like Liverpool comes calling, players usually want to leave, and 1.2 million felt like a good price. I have a feeling he may have very good potential though. I just don't think we could have kept him long enough to ever see him become that great defender. It'll be interesting to see how he develops, and you know what? If we get a scout report, I may try and loan him back. Should have put that in the transfer price. Way to think of this way too late. Anyway, the next transfer out, and for 800k we sold Jake Reeves. Now, he was a great performer for our club. Great stats, especially for a League 1 player, but when we got relegated, he really wanted to leave. And unfortunately, as much as I tried to keep him and convince him of otherwise, we need to get our wage budget down, and Jake Reeves was one of our highest paid players. So in the end, we decided to sell him. He's gone to Peterborough. Maybe we can bring him back further into the future, we will see, but we have built a stronger midfield, I feel, because we've sold players like this for 800k and have brought in players that are cheaper. So overall, I think our midfield strength has improved. Then we have Dominic Pollion, another player that wanted to leave after we got relegated. We've got a lot of strikers. Pollion would have been one of those that I wanted to keep, but he was one of the highest paid, and again, we needed to get our wage budget down. So we sold him for 400k, and that could rise to just under 600k if he performs well at Rotherham. Then Krysiak went. He went for around 225k. I wanted to sell him for more. Unfortunately, he just never really got on with my side at AFC Wimbledon. He should have been the goalkeeper I needed to move forward with, but he wanted to leave after relegation, and you know what? I complained about him so often in season number 2, I thought, let's cut my losses. He also was getting paid quite a hefty sum for AFC Wimbledon, so off he went. And then the last one we got any money for, we sold Lionel Cole. Yes, he would have been very useful in this formation, but he wanted to leave after we got relegated, so we sold him off as well for 165k, but it could go up to 230k. It's a shame we couldn't keep him, because I think he could have had a good season with us this year, but off he went, and I feel like overall, although we lost some good players, we are a stronger side despite having got relegated. We also saw Paul Robinson retire from football, and we saw a lot of our youngsters that just were probably never going to become anything at our club go out on frees. And then we have also loaned out Fankate Darbo. You know what? I'm wondering why I ever brought him in. I mean, some of those stats are good, but he doesn't shout at me as a great player. I probably got him because he had good potential ability, I'm assuming, but I just don't feel like I need him anymore, which is why he has gone. And then also Fraser Shaw has gone out on loan. I still have hope for him, although he's getting to 23 years of age and he still doesn't look amazing as a left back, but he does have a good personality, and I was kind of hoping he'd become a great left back. That isn't too bad for the level of football we're at, but I was hoping for more. Okay, so having covered the transfers, it is now time to get into our second game of the League One season. Hopefully we can pick up a result here to have a great start to our League One campaign in season number 3. We're starting with the 4-4-2. Looks very similar to my West Ham World Save 4-4-2, but it is different in a lot of ways. We have McDermott in goal. We have fullbacks Dimitreo and Spence. We have Tafazorli and Sweeney as the centre-backs. We have a ball-winning midfielder just in front, Jack Leach. We have Alfie Egan as a box-to-box midfielder on support. We have Kennedy as a wide midfielder on attack, with Coots on the other side as a wide midfielder attack. Moncur is a shadow striker sitting just behind Laura Della Valle. Another win would be a great epic start to season number 3. Could we possibly get promoted back to the Championship and become a yo-yo side between the Championship and League One? I hope that's not the case, because otherwise season number 4 could suck. By the way, we have also officially moved to Plough Lane, if you were not aware. So we now have an 11,000 capacity stadium compared to Kings Meadow, which I think is just under 6,000. So we might be able to get more fans turning up to our games now, which means more revenue, which means potentially financial security. Although this is not looking good here. Great save by McDermott there. That was not what I want to see. Nice attacking, flowing football by Walsall there. But it's early days yet. We saved the chance. But ideally our team want to be stopping those kind of chances even occurring. Okay, it's been a very quiet first 10 minutes apart from that first chance. We have not actually had a chance yet, as it's played in and it's scored by O'Connor. That is not a good start to our first game at Plough Lane. Macris here with just a ball over the top, and my defender looks like he was always going to lose that battle. McDermott, who really I should try and replace. I did try and loan a keeper from Man City's youth team to come in and replace him. Didn't really get close to that. We finally now actually got some chances, but they've both been long shots. Could we be building something here now as Egan plays it through to Moncur? Moncur to Coots. Coots can play it back to Moncur. Straight at the keeper, straight at Etheridge. That would have been good to answer back so quickly in the 20th minute. We're now crossing it in with Coots. It's going to drop to Macris, and this could be a counter-attack. Thank God it's the end of the highlight. Okay, we still seem in this, but ideally at home I'd be wanting to cut out these chances by Walsall. They've had 3 on target. 1 was a clear-cut chance. Yeah, the stats don't suggest to me that we are going to come back into this game unless we change something. Okay, it may seem counterintuitive, but I've gone to counter. I feel like they're pressing us to score, so I'm hoping going to counter. Now, if they're pressing us to score, then that means they're leaving space behind. So I think that is counterintuitive, and I shouldn't have done that. So we're going to go to attacking, which we may already have been on. Management 101 with JNO here. Forget what you're actually on and make the wrong decision, and then try and fix it afterwards. Anyway, Egan plays it to Kennedy, back to Egan, over to Leach. Leach can play it through to Coots. I'm not sure I'd have passed it to Spence myself, but it doesn't matter as Spence finds Moncur in the box, and it is now 1-1. Back in this game, getting a point from this game so far. Potentially Walsall may be a challenger for the title, so maybe I'm reading too much into this, because it is still early days, so I don't know who the strong and weaker teams are in the division. But at the moment Walsall drew their other game. No, that point is from drawing us. So they lost their other game, but it could have been against really tough opposition. Did I ever change it off counter? I didn't, and it seems to have worked. So yeah, basically I've got back into this game by not having a clue what I'm actually doing. But hey, if it works, doesn't it? I went to counter assuming they were pressing us. Usually I go to counter if nothing is happening. I'm trying to pull him out. So Egan now has the ball to Moncur. Moncur almost plays the ball over the top for Laura Della Valle. Have I made any substitutions? I don't think I have. Egan plays it to Kennedy. Kennedy can shoot. Almost a goal on his debut. And now I will look at making substitutions because I've completely forgotten. Egan on a 6.8, you can definitely come off considering you're also on a yellow. The yellow card, 63%, 63. We'll go with Spence off. Give Corey Wheeling a game, but I do not like those 2 yellow cards there. Sending off could cost us heavily in this game. But we definitely seem on the ascendancy. We've had more clear-cut chances, more half chances, and Sweeney almost manages to poke his header goalward. But it looks like we're probably going to get a draw from this game. Second half was a lot better of a performance than the first half. Are we a second half team this season? A goal now would be epic for us, just for the record. If we get countered now, I wish I would have not made that mistake. Right, well played Leach, 2 tackles there. We can now get that ball forward, get it moving forward. Laura Della Valle out to Moncur. Coots, if you'd just made a run down the line. Rosenthal now has it to Della Valle. Through to Moncur. Oh, we've hit the post in the 90th minute. We've hit the post in the 90th minute, but we have definitely had a much better second half performance here. Demetreou now to Kennedy. Back to Demetreou. Demetreou can pass it back. Don't do anything silly. Tafazorli over to Kennedy. Headed over. Oh, if Della Valle could have got on the end of that, that would have been a bit epic. You see a bunch of names in there that you weren't probably expecting to see, and the reason for that is we had a lot of injuries, which I'll show you before we sign off. But 1-1 at home against Walsall. It's not ideal, but we are currently sitting in 3rd place, so we can't complain. I'm going to go with disappointing because I feel like we should be winning that game. And then let's try and make Spence feel a little better about himself. It's not worked and it's kind of pissed off someone else. Oh, let's just stop there. We're just causing issues now. Anyway, before we sign off, let me just show you the squad screen and just show you how many injuries we've currently got. After the last game, we got 4 injuries. Dean Parrott, John Meaders, Liam Grimshaw and Bradley Fuster, all who started the last game, all came up with injuries. So that is why this lineup changed so drastically for this game. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always to this second episode of AFC Wimbledon Return to Glory. If you've enjoyed the episode, make sure to subscribe if you're new around here. Make sure to leave a like button. All the support I can get on these videos is much appreciated. I've been JNO, you guys have been awesome, and remember, it's all about getting back in the championship.